We stop ourselves from playing sports as we get older because we're not professional. We just stop, and you're like, what? And it's amazing how when you talk to really creative people, they don't. So many innovators that I have interviewed draw. They draw on napkins. They have whole notebooks of just drawings, and they can't draw. But they're just, this is just how they think. Drawing is really wonderful when you feel stuck. Because again, when you feel stuck, you're in a neural rut and you're just spinning like this and you keep using words. You're thinking in words, you're using words. We're a highly verbal society. And we didn't start out verbal, of course. The oldest things we have are cave paintings and bone flutes. So there are other means of communication that are more ancient than using words. And our brains have developed huge capacities for understanding the world through these other means. So the idea is to put aside your words, which means you're putting aside a section of your brain that you've been overusing, and just attempt to draw the problem. Literally, that's it. How would you visually represent the issue you're facing? Step one, instrument of your choice. Do you like to work on a tablet? Is it traditional pen and paper, pencil? Do you like markers? Do you want to be up on a whiteboard? How do you like to do this? You know, big poster board, construction paper, index cards, Post-it notes. It really doesn't matter. But whatever you like, and the writing instrument that you like. Next thing you want to do is you want to be sure you're alone, right? So all of that social concern just goes out the window. However you got made fun of in 3rd grade in art class, whatever it is, you can just hopefully put that aside. Next thing you want to do is you want to be sure there's like a waste paper basket or a shredder or a lighter and a metal bucket nearby. And I'm being honest, like you want to be able to just destroy this so that you don't have to worry about anything from there. And then if you do this kind of thing, a drink of your choice. Glass of wine, maybe a beer, some whiskey, doesn't really matter, gin and tonic if that's your thing. And the reason you do this is because you're trying to quiet your frontal lobes. So your frontal lobes are your social inhibitors. Your frontal lobes are the part of you that are like, they're all gonna laugh at you, right? That's your frontal lobe. And alcohol, very moderately, will quiet that down, seriously, and it will make this whole process easier. So what you wanna do is the first thing you wanna draw is the situation you're in now, which might be the problem. And then and by the way, if an answer comes to you right then, done, excellent, glad to have helped. If it hasn't, then you want to draw the outcome. Where do you want to be, right? How do you want your team to be working? How do you want to be seen in the media? What is the impact you want to be having on the community? Whatever the case may be. And you look, and again, if something comes to you there, move on. So the next thing you want to do is draw the bridge, which can literally be a bridge, but really that's your solution. That is how you're going to get from your current situation to the situation you want to be in. The middle part, the bridge, is what you're really looking for. That's the breakthrough. That's the, oh. So to give you a very quick example, the problem for Thomas Edison was what filament would last a long enough time to make a light bulb commercially viable for people to buy. We need a filament and we don't know what it is. We had end state, which was a viable commercial light bulb. The solution, the bridge, was we're just gonna test 600 forms of this and figure our way out. Now that is obviously extremely simple, but that is the idea of how you're gonna find your way from this to this, but you do it through pictures. And another wonderful way to do this is to draw this whole thing in metaphor. So the problem you're facing at the moment is a lion, and you need to be a lion tamer. Or the problem you face is a lion that's in a city, and you need to figure out how to get it back into the savannah, right? So, but metaphorical thinking can also be very powerful for breakthroughs. It has to do with a part of the brain right over here in the right part. I won't geek out on the science, but it lights up when we come to understand a metaphor, when we figure out a riddle. Give yourself a time limit, like 5 to 10 minutes. Something that you, even if you don't like the idea of drawing, it's just not that long a commitment. However, if you start doing it and you're really getting into it and it's really working for you and your 10-minute buzzer goes off, you can ignore it and keep going. You can stay in that space of flow if it's there. Don't commit to that long amount of time beforehand though, but allow yourself to continue on if that works for you. Sometimes when people are still concerned about drawing well, they'll maybe Google the lion from the metaphor of the lion, and they'll take a look at a picture of it and try and draw that lion pretty well. And the issue with that is you end up focusing your brain on drawing the lion, not on the larger metaphor of the issue you're facing. I am terrible at drawing. I am a stick figure master. I don't let that stop me, however. You're not supposed to show this to anybody. You're not trying to get it up in the Tate Modern. It's not even supposed to go up on your refrigerator. It's just for you to have a thought. The key here is that while you are drawing, your attention is not really on the drawing. Your attention is on how to express the ideas in a visual way. Some common mistakes that people make that make this process harder for them is they expect the answer to come in the drawing. And it may, which would be wonderful, but it just as well may not. And it might be the start point and the answer will come in the shower. The answer will come in a dream. It might take another session or two of drawing. The answer will come while walking down the street, talking to your wife on the phone, and her saying, "Did you hear what I just said?" And you're like, because the answer just came to you because you spaced out while talking to your wife, which is its own thing. And if you're having that relationship issue, I'm happy to work with you on that. I know all about it. But this is how the process works.
To recap, you've sat somewhere alone where you feel safe. You've potentially had a glass of wine, scotch or gin. You've drawn the problem you've got, where you kind of want to end up, and the bridge between the two. And lastly, you haven't expected any magical jolt of insight to happen. Here's one I prepared earlier.
What I really like about the drawing technique is it empowers people to, in a very simple way, access a completely different part of their brains so that they can get out of a rut that they may not have even realized they were in. It empowers people to use more of their capacity in a way that they may not have been aware they were blocking themselves from. And it also sometimes encourages people to start drawing more. And that's the thing about creativity and even breakthroughs is it's about having fun. It's about being curious and moving forward into the unknown and trusting and seeing what will happen. And drawing can be one of those things.